Hello, everybody. How's it going? Um, I am about to talk about season three of Survivor. For those of you who don't know, I went through the first two seasons. I talked about each player. I went through the elimination, how they were eliminated, and then I have some notes at the end that I like to talk about. Like I said, I did the first two seasons. You can go ahead and watch them. And then another thing is I would like to say is I have a camera to like record, camera recorder, I guess. It's not charged yet, but hopefully next video, probably next video, I will use it so it will be better. And then the light situation, again, it's where my desk is, so it's like kind of in a bad spot. So I'm gonna try to keep my head here. It's kind of don't really have another place to do it. So, um, yeah, like I said, maybe I can think of another way later. But anyway, so I'll get into season three, Survivor Africa, and sorry it's been a long time. I just finished up not too long ago. I watched Squid Game season three, and then 4th of July weekend I was pretty busy. So let's get to my all the players and stuff. All right, so Survivor season three, Africa, crazy place to film. I saw a interview just earlier today about Jeff recently talking about how they would never go back because of how dangerous it was, and I mean, obviously, I didn't think they would. They're in Fiji, and they've been in the past 15 seasons or whatever. 10 seasons actually. They started at 40. I just realized that. Anyway, so yeah. And they talk about how dangerous it was. They said the camera crew stuff had to like open the tent like a little bit at a time to make sure no noise was made or whatever. So, I mean, by the looks of it, it looked pretty pretty dangerous, pretty scary, and yeah, it's not really surprised. So we'll start out with Diane. Um, I'm gonna talk about this now. I was gonna wait till later, but I guess I kind of have to with Diane. Um, so she no surprise she was kicked off first. She's definitely not, as you can tell through the challenge and just after, she was not her. I mean, not herself, but she was like definitely weak, and the conditions definitely got to her. Way worse, faster, way, I don't know, more than the others, and she was not exactly feeling well. She had to stay back with Clarence, um, and so he could take care of her or whatever. And yeah, I mean, you're not going to get rid of Clarence. So the food situation with Clarence eating it, saying Diane wanted it, and um, just taking it and not telling everybody. I mean, that's obviously that was not a smart move on his play. Even if she did say that, which I don't think she did, I think he was just wanted an excuse to say he wanted food, and he used Diane as kind of a scapegoat. But you still have to get rid of Diane first, even if you don't really trust Clarence 100%. It's kind of one of those things, you keep an eye on him. I think Alex mentioned this where like someone's always with him or something. Like they're always more cautious now because of that incident. So yeah, Diane, she's not much to say about her. She just wasn't fit for the game, which obviously the conditions were worse than first two seasons, in my opinion. It seemed like, obviously. So yeah, you gotta keep Clarence around. He's got strength. He's got I guess, speed, and he's just the better athlete for these challenges. With Survivor is tricky because like you can't just get rid of people right off the bat that you don't like. Yes, obviously if they're not helping the team at all, then yes, you can get rid of them. But you gotta also understand that even if you don't like them, if they help them out, if they can help out the tribe, and if it's not, you know, if it's not too bad, I guess, if it's not too much of a hindrance to your game, to keep them around with the tribe part, um, so that you can help win challenges and not go back. Then, yeah, obviously you keep the better player, the one who does more work around stuff. It's not like you said, not just challenges. It's like helping around the camp, the making fire, cooking the food, fishing, building shelter, gathering whatever, all that. They gotta do that too. It's not just challenges, but yeah, Diane, it's gone. Next is Jessie, who also had trouble. She couldn't drink the water, which obviously, like, that water was disgusting. They had to go to a place where it's all muddy, and they had to boil it before they could drink it. And yeah, obviously it's not good water. Clarence said it. Nobody really wants to drink it. He doesn't want to drink it, but you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. And she had trouble with that. And then I guess when she first did, she puked, and she couldn't hold down. So it was probably best for her to leave too. The second, it was, yeah, it was. She was not looking too good. She seemed to be better later, next couple of days or whatever. But even then, she even said in the reunion show that she was glad she left. It was not for her. Same with Diane. And they're both those people. Both those ladies, Diane and Jessie, were from the Gold Tribe, known as the Baran or Baran, or however you say it. I heard it say a couple different times, so different ways. So I don't know how you say it. I'm gonna say Baran. I'm gonna say Baran. It's the Gold Tribe. Next, we have Carl, aka Doc. Carl was a lot like Frank, older, the go-getters, we gotta get it done, kind of telling people what to do, being the leader. Yeah, they're just kind of, I don't want to say bossing people around, but like make sure people are doing something. And obviously the older people in the tribe, it was divided. Obviously, 4 younger people and the 4 older people. The older people were doing a lot and doing stuff, and the younger people were just sitting around, day at the, not really a beach, but day at just hanging out. So I think that's where that sort of started, with them being split on that Samburu tribe. Or Samburu. I said Samburu. Samburu tribe. And yeah, I think Carl and Frank were a lot alike, honestly. Like, it just mattered that Carl got sent home because more people wanted Frank around for some reason, or liked him a little bit better. Carl is, he's definitely, I see why he was cast. He was definitely out playing the game. He was working, I just think he got, what was it? Oh, yeah, he left because of that's right. It was the questions. That's how he got off. He didn't know the questions. So, yeah, it was split, like I said, 4-4. They, Drew again, Carl, and who got the other vote? I don't think it was Silas. It wasn't Brandon. Was it Silas? I don't know, whatever. There was 2 people going ahead, Carl and one of the younger girls. I think it might have been Lindsay. with Lindsay on. I think it might have been Lindsay. I don't know. Whatever. They had questions. I don't know, like 7 or something. Carl got not as many right, so he ended up being evicted because that's how the tiebreaker worked at that point. It was the first tribal council. Normally they would go with who had the most votes cast against them in previous tribal councils, but with it being the first one and nobody's budging on either side, they had to go with the question. So, Carl, great competitor. I mean, great. He wanted to work and stuff and great work ethic, but, comes a time where nobody was budging and he didn't answer questions right. Kind of sucks to go out that way, but, I mean, it is what it is. Then we have Linda, who, she's spicy. She's a spicy one. Yeah. Yeah, with the whole situation with coming back and then Lindsay, was it Lindsay? It was Lindsay, yeah. Came back, she was all celebrating and saying, yeah, we did it. Talked to the other 3 younger players. And Linda didn't really like that because it was supposed to be one tribe. But again, they were split and it just never got better. So with that, Linda, she just was fed up. She just wanted to make sure everyone was trying to get together, was trying to get along. They had the next morning they all had got together and they start talking listen, we have to start working as a tribe and whatnot. And I mean, everybody kind of agreed that they needed to, but it just wasn't going to happen with that group. 4 against 3 now. The younger players had a advantage now. So, Linda kind of knew she was on the chopping block. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, Linda was entertaining, great player. I think at some point, I mean, I know you want to stick with your alliance, but if I'm one of those 3 older people, I am switching ship and I am going to, I'm going with the younger tribe saying, you know what? I'm with you. That way you get the other 2 out. Hopefully they don't lose too many so that they get to, 3 people end up switching from each tribe, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's all about, survival, So the fact that the 3 people left were we're sticking together. I feel like one of them should have, played the game and moved to the younger, just for a bit, because you weren't going to win. You weren't going to get it in self-preservation. So anyway, Linda, spicy, definitely entertaining, but didn't quite play the game good. So this is where the tribe swap happens. 3 players from each tribe switched. So what happened is, obviously they didn't know this was going to happen. They said choose 3 people. Most people were going to go on a journey. Each tribe got their note, so each 3 got there. Jeff was like, "Oh, this is full of, surprises. This is a twist. Drop your buffs." And he goes, "Silas, Frank, Teresa, you're now Baron. Big Tom, Lex, Kelly, you're now at Samburu." And so they switched. They walked back to the new tribes. Obviously, both the tribes that were already there, spit. They were surprised, everyone was surprised. So, and Silas kind of got the, shit end of the stick. He ended up getting booted, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's just one of those things where Ethan said it's some luck and is involved in this game. If that would have been Ethan, flip flop, he might not have made it to the end. Probably wouldn't have been. Silas might have won, whatever. So yeah, the swap, it was. I liked it honestly, just because we knew with Samburu the younger people are just going to pick off older people. So, which makes me think: did they think of this before the season started, or did they think of this now? Just thinking, you know what, this is going to be a great season. If we just let Sam Reed. I mean, I think they probably thought of it before, but just something to think about. Anyway, so Silas, you know, again, Braun lost, got sent to tribal council, and yeah, they were just like, Silas has got to go. He was too big of a competitor. You know, he knew he was going to be a problem in the merge, so they wanted him to go. I guess he wasn't really that likable with some of the people. You know, I mean, Ethan got along with him pretty well. Who else was? Oh, Clarence was happy he was on the team. They bonded over that kind of big muscular men. Talking, you know, thinking it's going to be a good team, you know. But unfortunately, they lost and Silas was gone, you know. Unfortunately, that's how the game works. And I think with Silas is, again, Braun wanted to stick together. So they're like, you know what, Clarence has earned some trust in this a little bit. So with Silas, they're like, we're going to get rid of him. We think he's a bigger threat just because, you know, he's made connections with those other people. If he makes it to the merge, you know, what could happen. And from that, I think they're like, you know what, it's time. He's got to go. So yeah, he was on the Samburu tribe, switched to Braun tribe, and they, he left. He was voted out. Next, we got Lindsay, which hottest girl there. Just saying, hottest girl. Kelly was pretty hot too, but I think Lindsay was a little bit better looking. Not that mattered. Just saying. I know she's just like, what'd she play? Was she tennis? I don't remember what she played. Well, she was an athlete, you know. And then when they did they brought back season 1. They did it. They had to make an SOS sign, using what they had on their I don't want to say beach, but the area they're at. And Lindsay kind of collapsed. Kind of collapsed. She was dehydrated. She was just, you know, it got to her. You know, Linda and yeah. That must have happened before the swap. The SOS thing. So yeah, Jeff and, you know, two of the guy pilot and the guy with them in the back, they They flew over their part of the island, I guess it was, and whoever had the better SOS sign won the challenge. Braun ended up winning that challenge, and they got the goods, the stuff. But while they were doing that, Lindsay had like kind of collapsed, and she kind of like was, you know, she was mad because she knew Linda and all the older people were gonna say something like, "Oh, she's big. She not big, but she's an athlete. You know, she says she can handle this," and she just wasn't feeling good. You know, she even said she would, if an injury she could have dealt with, but just feeling nauseous and sick, she didn't feel good, kind of, and you know she ended up getting better. You know, who knows? You know, I thought she was obviously good to look at, and she was okay at the game. I don't think she was great, but as far as her being with Sambaru Tribe, let's see, Sambaru. So Tom, Lex, and Kelly went to Sambaru. So yeah, I think the majority wanted Lindsay out, and obviously, so she got voted out. And then the merge happened. So everyone, they went to they got to choose where they wanted to go when they all set up around camp because they had the water. They got an earlier challenge and the clean water and stuff. And then the I don't know, a beach or a tribe thing was campsite, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. Was better than Sambaru. So everyone liked it. I mean, even when Silas, Frank, and Teresa went there, they're like, oh yeah, this is better. So anyway, so yeah, the merge, their name was Moto Maji. Moto Maji was their name. It was teal, ended up having teal buffs. And it means fire and water. So I'm guessing Moto means fire and Maji means water. I don't know, Lex kind of seemed like he came up with it, so whatever. It's just a name, honestly. I mean, it's yeah. And then the individual immunity challenge happened, and Clarence got voted out. I think nobody trusted him after that incident. Big Tom was like, I forgive, but don't forget. And even though I think everyone with Clarence made kind of progress, trusting him a little bit. But, and still, I mean, it doesn't fully go away, and you can never fully trust somebody. So when somebody does something like that, no matter how early, it's even if he makes it up, you still don't trust him. So I think everyone was just like, gotta get Clarence up. Plus, it's individual immunity time. Big threat. Gotta get rid of him. That's why he went. Now, my question to you is, would you trust him moving forward after he did that? Or would you not even care to? Like, would you try to trust him or just wait and see or just no? Because to me, I think I would probably do what they did, I wouldn't trust him fully, but I would see if he can make it up, and I think he did. But yeah, he definitely would have. I feel the same. He definitely would have made it to the end with me. I would have made sure he was gone. So, and then after Clarence leaves, we got 9 people left, which means jury happens. Whoever gets eliminated now is on the jury. So the first person to get kicked off and goes to the jury is Kelly. Now, I can't remember. So now that everyone's together, Lex, Big Tom, and Ethan are a trio. They're tight. They would go to the end with their want to take each other to the end and stuff. So, they're a threesome right there. And then Brandon, I think, can't remember what the vote was. Brandon, I think, might have flipped and voted Kelly out. And then everyone else, like Frank, Kim Powers was bad. But I think Frank, Teresa, and then Kim Johnson, KJ, they all were just, I don't want to say they went along with, they did their own thing too, but like, I guess I don't really remember. It escapes my mind right now. But I know, so Kelly, she, I think, they just thought it was time to go. I don't remember exactly why. I just watched it. I think it was because Kim Powers was kind of mad. She kind of flipped on or Kim Powers was mad at Brandon after that, which I knew that, but so Brandon definitely flipped, and I think there was four. I think there was 4 votes she only needed, or she had 4 votes, and others were cast. So yeah, Kelly was gone. I think it comes down to the alliances now. I guess not really a good reason. Not a good reason, but it just comes down to strategy, and yeah, obviously. And then Brandon. Brandon. Kelly was part of the Baron tribe, and then switched to Sambaru, but I just think Big Tom, Lex, and Ethan probably they felt better. Kelly went. So going back to Brandon, who was Sambaru tribe, and I think Kim Powers wanted him out after that, and then they just, again, it comes down to alliances. He was just at the bottom of the totem pole. He didn't really try. I feel like he didn't really try to make connections with people. I mean, was it Ethan who tried to talk? I think Ethan tried to talk to him, and Lex tried to talk to him. No, Ethan did talk to him. I'm sorry. Ethan and Lex talked to him about switch flipping. He did that. And then after that, Lex made a good point. Like, I think it was Lex. Pretty sure it was Lex. He was like, well, if he flips on them, maybe it was Ethan. If he flips on them, what makes you think it would flip on us? So then they're like, okay, well, we can't trust him. We got to get him out now. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. So yeah, that's Brandon. And then Frank. Now it's just a matter of Sambaru getting picked off because they have less people. So Frank was next one gone. He didn't win the immunity idol, the immunity necklace. So Sambaru. So Frank. They just decided it was time for him to go. Brendan was a character. Definitely understand why he was cast. Frank again was like Carl. But he stuck around longer so people know him more, and the thing with the elephant imitating him and talking to him, I don't know content. Yeah. So Frank definitely I feel like he calmed down. Like in the beginning it was go go go. I want to be the leader and make everyone, not make everyone, but tell everybody that this needs to be done. Build shelter, make sure no one's try to get everybody not to be lazy and stuff. And then once Carl left, I feel like is when he kind of died down a little bit. So, okay, maybe we should back up. Or maybe he should back down, kind of like, not that he wasn't still wanting to be a leader, but I just think he thought he did enough. And I think at one point he was like, you know what, I'm always getting people up, so let the young people do it. And I think the one time the young people, I think this is back in Sambaru, they did it, and Frank Frank was definitely a character. Big personality, definitely cast him because he was, he was kind of like Rudy in a way. He had his own opinions. He wasn't as old as Rudy, but he was that guy who was just like stuck to his guns, He said in a Union show that he wasn't scared of any of the animals or anything like that, and that was just people, which, I mean, I don't want to speak for him, obviously, but was he in the military? Because someone said military man, and I thought they were joking. But then I thought maybe later he was saying he was military. Anyway, I feel like if he was in the military, then maybe I could see it. but still, like, experience that going through that wild with those animals, saying you're not scared at all. You're scared. I don't know. I feel like a little bit maybe he was scared, just a tad bit. I think he tried to play the big tough guy. Yeah, big and tough. Uh-huh. So yeah, that was Frank. Kim Powers. Kim Powers was she was definitely um she was attractive too. But that's besides the point. But she was one of those the young. Was she the last of the Samburu? No. So again, Samburu's just getting picked off. It was between Teresa and Kim. I think Lex and Kim was a good character. I mean, she was a pretty good character. She had her moments, but obviously good to look at. But I don't think she really played the game that well. I think she was just there, playing somewhat, with the with the younger people, and that eventually is why she ended up, the Baran tribe kicked him out and kicked her. Brown people, the people from that tribe kicked her out, voted her off because they had the bigger, more people, and they liked Ethan, Big Tom, and Lex all like Teresa better, so they wanted to keep her around a little bit longer. Which brings me to the next person, Teresa T-Bird. She was awesome. I liked the way she played the game. She definitely had strategy involved. I mean, she definitely played the game. I don't know if she played it. She played it good, I thought. But she didn't play it great. Obviously, she it's just one of those things where, again, not with the line. Like, if she was with Lex, Ethan, and Big Tom earlier, she probably could have made it to the final four with them. But because she was on the Samburu tribe, she's got to go. And when she didn't win that immunity necklace, she kind of knew. And she was, an older lady, not real old, but sort of. I mean, and making it that far in the game, it's impressive. I thought it was pretty impressive, yeah. So good for Teresa, definitely memorable, I think, in somewhat. And yeah, that was basically Teresa. So next we have who do we have next? Oh, Big Tom. So Big Tom, obviously country guy. He's definitely got that southern accent. He's just, I mean, this guy, I would imagine when they saw him, they were like, we got to get this guy on. His audition video that they showed, I mean, that was hilarious. His jury question was, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of his question, but at least it was funny. I know it wasn't just like pick a number or you really are like scolding them like Suited season 1. He just the question of you think if I don't know, was it a cow or bull or something that like, oh, if I had taste of your food, you think when he licked his butt, would it be to get rid of the taste or to clean himself off? And I was just like, Ethan started dying, and it was a funny thing. I'm not a fan of those questions still, like ask questions that's going to impact the game. But he said he knew he was going to vote for it, but I still think you should. I don't know. I feel like you should still give that person at least a little bit of a chance, even if you know who they voted for, which I know it's not going to sway all the time. But again, I don't know. It was funny at least. But Big Tom, funny character or funny guy, definitely played character. He was, if what's her name? Kim Johnson didn't win that. It was the questions thing. We went to tribal council. 4 of them were asked questions, and then whoever got the most right won the immunity necklace. And Kim Johnson won, and they all voted for Big Tom to be off. I think I don't know if Lex and Ethan were closer, or they just thought they were scared that he was going to win. But it was his time to go, and unfortunately, he didn't make the final 3. But yes, Big Tom, very memorable. And I mean, there's nobody that is like him, nobody that will ever be like him. So, we're down to the final 3. You got Lex, Ethan, and Kim Johnson. KJ. So, I'm trying to think of what the... Oh, so Kim Johnson. Yeah, this is yes. So this challenge is where they all 3, this is where they did they went back and looked at each other. So there was a ritual, African ritual they did in the beginning. They walked through those people, waving leaves or whatever, which it was a nice ritual, give me wrong. Then they went through each torch, remembering the fallen survivors, talking about them for a minute. And then they went to the challenge, and again, from season 1, the same challenge in the final 3, where everyone had to just hold on to I don't know, but it wasn't a tree. It wasn't a tree. It was the idol, I think. I don't remember what it was. But they all had to hold on. They had to have one hand on it at all times. And the last one won. Now, Ethan, or was it? I think it was Ethan. Oh, God, who was it? This is annoying me. It was Ethan or Lex. They didn't feel good. And, I think that's what cost them. I think it was Lex. I think Ethan just kind of... Yeah, pretty sure it was Lex. He wasn't feeling good. Yeah, it was Lex. Pretty sure it was Lex. So Ethan was out first. He was mad at himself. He just... I don't know exactly what happened. He just lost concentration. Which is, I would say, on that island-ish thing, with no food or water for, a little bit of that. And, yeah... And it gets to you. And I think he just all that with that and all that and yeah, I think he just lost concentration and fell. And then Lex, you can tell what he was feeling earlier that day is kind of came back and bit him in the butt with him losing. He didn't make an excuse or anything. He was, which. You got to play through it. You got to do what you got to do. It's Survivor. You got to play with the conditions. They're not going to, postpone it. I don't know why I said like that. So, yeah. So, he kind of, eventually, that kind of got to him more. And he just couldn't handle it anymore. So, Kim Johnson won KJ. And she got to pick who was going to Final 2 with her. And she said in the reunion show, she didn't think she could beat either one of them. And she wanted to pick someone who they thought deserved it more, which they both deserved it, Lexi and Ethan. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they both deserved it, Ethan and Lex. And yeah, she wanted to win either one of them, so she wanted to pick who thought deserved it better or something, but I think she might have been closer with Ethan. I think that's what she said, or that's what it was interpreted as. So that's why she picked Ethan to go to the final 2. So Lex is now on jury. It's Ethan, and Kim Johnson. I keep forgetting her name, KJ. So so they get to the jury, they ask the questions, and as per usual, Ethan wins. Not as per usual, but Ethan wins because he just played a better game. I mean, it wasn't like Kim Johnson seems nice, and again, older lady making it through that far with those conditions when you had like Diane and Jessie. I mean, Diane wasn't that young, but she was younger than Kim Johnson. And Jessie, who was pretty young, in her 20s, doing all this. So she made it far. She did it. She won the last two comps to get her to the final two. So that was impressive on its own, And I think she played not a great game, but a great game at the end. And I think it was a little too late. Too little, too late. And she just didn't play as good of it. Where Ethan, also Big Tom and Lex, he had on their side. And he was playing the game all the way through where, just because you played at the end and played it good doesn't mean you should win over someone who's been playing the game good throughout the whole season. So that is why Kim lost. And I'm going to get to the jury questions. And I got the points I got to make. So I'm about to get to that in a minute. But before I do, I just want to say Ethan, definitely memorable. Kim Johnson, I'm going to talk about Ethan real quick. So Kim Johnson, like I said, older, she was nice. Amazing. I mean, amazing. She seemed amazing, personality-wise. She didn't really complain, and she seemed easy to get along with. So it was just a matter of Ethan played a better game, and Ethan is definitely memorable. He did get brought back, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he got brought back in other seasons. So he was pretty good at comps. He won a couple. Did he win an individual immunity challenge? I think he won twice. I know he won once, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, Ethan played all around good game. He was connected with Big Tom. And we'll talk more about Ethan kind of with these topics and notes. But he deserved to win. Okay. Now, let's get to what I have. So, this challenge I'm about to talk about stood out to me the most because it didn't happen the first two seasons, and I haven't seen the rest of the seasons yet. Or, not the rest, but the rest of the earlier seasons, but I'm pretty sure this has not been done before. I mean, this has not been done after. They had to drink blood from a, what was it? Not a cow. What was it? I'm having a hard time remembering right now. They had to drink blood from a bull. Was it a bull? It wasn't a bull, was it? It was. It was. What was it? A buffalo. I think that's what it was. A buffalo. I'm gonna stick with buffalo. So what they did is they kind of poked them with like a. They kind of like wiped a sanitation wipe on them, and they kind of like poked them with like the spear, and the blood came out, and then they had a big picture of it, and they all had to drink that with milk from one of the cows that they mixed it. They mixed it in, and every player from each tribe had to do that. Everyone did, and then it came down to okay. Now it's a bigger shot. Yeah, it was a shot they had to drink. So, and then now it's a bigger shot, and this time each tribe chose the other. Remember who wanted them to drink, and it was Lindsay or Kelly who lost. But anyway, I got them mixed up a lot. What was I gonna say? So yeah, the final thing was. There was no milk. It was just blood. And they had to drink it faster than the other. And Lindsay, they lost. They didn't drink faster, and they're making fun of her because, oh, she drinks a lot, whatever, she can't make it. So, Linda, again. Wild animals. I mean, there's not been another season like this that I know of where you got literally animals who, like, this is survival. It's not just like on Fiji, just when you get rewards all the time anyway and stuff like that. This is like this is why older Survivor, I feel, from what I've seen, is better than newer Survivor because it's more survival. Like, where else do you see these seasons where you're not just staying like hydrated and stuff? Like, you gotta stay away from these animals. A couple of times they got spooked. It was Ethan and was it Kim Power or something? It was who they were guarding them one night, and a lion came up, kind of close. It's no joke. Like, and they had I don't know what they called it either. The thing they had like a circle that they moved, had like bushes, shrubs, or not shrubs, but like branches and stuff on it, so that they couldn't get through, which they could get through. But just to make them feel, I think it was back up the line a little bit. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what that was for either. Like I said, I'm having a hard time remembering. Maybe I shouldn't have done this today, but whatever. So yeah, the lion came up close, and then that buffalo when they were coming back. It was more Baran than I feel like than Sambaru. And yeah, let me tell you, that's wild, literally wild. Like, the fact that I had to do that, and two people at night always had to have a fire going, which, I mean, that's, again, nothing like it. The twist we talked about, 3 players from each tribe switching. So this is what I thought was kind of messed up a little bit. One of the reward challenges, you had to watch the other team, whoever won, you had to sit there and watch them while they ate. And to me, that's like, I mean, I get it. You wanted to make it like a little entertaining, like part of the show, something different. But to me, it's just let them eat. Let the other team go back and have them eat that there. Don't make them watch. That's what I didn't really like. Okay, I'm about to talk about the rewards, which all 3 awards were very good, unique, and I thought all of them were awesome. The first one, Lex and Ethan. So Ethan won, and he chose Lex because Lex came in second in that competition. Don't remember the competition, of course, because I can't remember anything of that. But I do know they went to the place was called Wamba. They went to the marketplace. They had 2 goats. They had to sell them, and they got to bring other items that the cast members gave them, to sell, to give back. And they sent like $1,400 on fries. They got like, what they get, like $1,600 on for the goats. Then they got a little bit of. They ended up getting crackers. They got crackers, So that was nice because that's nice about that is they got to meet all these people, all see their lifestyle, and they're both appreciate. Ethan playing hacky sack with them, and they giving them the hacky sack. The funniest part about it was them trying to get the goats off. I think it was funny that I think Lex said it, like 2 city boys trying to get these goats off of the truck or whatever. I don't know what it was. It was a truck. But whatever it was, off, and they had to keep them all along the ride too. Like on the way there, like they had to keep them settled, and it was hard for them to do that. And then carry them off was hard. To get them off, and everyone in the Wamba, whatever Wambians, I don't know what they're called, but they seemed like they were just watching them not know how to do it, take them off, and so anyway, Wamba Sorry, I keep thinking of SpongeBob Patrick when he says Wamba, Wombo. Um. So yeah, that was the Wamba thing. It was nice. All around with like they got fries. I don't think they told them when they got back to the eat fries, but they told them about the goats and they got crackers. Or told them about what they got from the goats and stuff. So yeah, I think all around that was nice. And then Lex wins. He wins this time, and Big Tom comes with him because he got to choose somebody. And they went to like this cabin thing where they got to just hang out. There was booze there. There was what was it? Hippo in the water. Then they had dinner. They had this dinner thing, and then they went in a hot air balloon. And Tom got drunk. Lex had to carry his big ass to the freaking bed, and yeah, that was funny. That one was fun. Like Big Tom. Like again, there's not anyone like Big Tom. He's just awesome. And then yeah, they had like slept in this cabin on like cots. And it wasn't actually a cabin, but I call it a cabin. Kind of looked like a cabin thing. And they slept on cots, and yeah, next they had. Did they have a meal the next day before they left? I know they left the next morning, went back, and yeah, that was that. And then Lex again wins immunity challenge. Lex won a lot of immunity challenges. I think he won 3 or 4. He. So, I thought he. I'm kind of confused. I thought he won the truck, but I don't know if he won I think he just won the truck to drive it there, to where they delivered to a medical supplies to Wamba Hospital, and there's this foreign guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember what his name is helping out with Wamba Hospital and doing all this, and Lex got to deliver all these. Him and Jeff drove in the Chevy. There was another truck, the Avalanche. Yeah, there was another. I think it was another Avalanche separately that went, and there's a year's worth of medical supplies. You got to meet all the kids, hang out with them, and it's Lex got emotional. You could tell, and it reminded him of his kids, and it's just one of those things that like you said, it's not something you forget. It'll last for a lifetime for him, and it was very nice to see, and it sucks that all of that. I mean, it's happy that they got all the HIV stuff and whatever, but it just sucked that they had to go through that. They had to go through that, and that they. This is an everyday life for them. They don't have good hospitals like this, and it's just, yeah. It was a nice emotional moment and sad and happy. Okay. Now, this I just thought of off the top of my head. Not off the top of my head, but while I was watching the immunity necklace. I did not like the immunity necklace. It looked weird. It looked too big. Like they needed to make it skinnier. I feel like to go around, and I did not. I just thought it was weird. Oh, so Big Tom. Obviously, like I said, love Big Tom. There's no one like him. But sometimes I couldn't understand him. He talks like Farmer Fran, the guy who mumbles in The Water Boy. Like there was like a couple times like, what did he say? And it's just I'm laughing because I know it was funny. I don't know what he said, but like just the way he says it and the way he acts, and it's just Big Tom. Gotta love Big Tom. African ritual I talked about. Kelly's picked. This is what I don't get with Kelly's like, I don't know either of you guys' gameplay. So pick a number between 1 and 1. Like, why don't you ask them to describe their game and how they think they played it? Like, give them a reason why, or just say like, what sets you apart from the person sitting next to you? Like, ask them about the gameplay. If you don't know about the gameplay, don't say, "Oh, pick a number between 1 and 1,000." Yeah, I don't. Again, I don't like those questions. And I'm not. Shoot. They asked her in this reunion show. I don't know if she really answered it. She said like, they asked her if Ethan got her vote because he was closer, or if she just did that anyway, and Ethan was gonna get her vote either way. So I don't know. And then I talked about Clarence. So yeah, that's all that. I got a list of notable players now. Now I have, because there was memorable players. There were somewhat memorable players. Then there was one person who was like in between. I'll explain that in a minute. So memorable players are Ethan, Lex, Big Tom. I mean, both all have great personalities. You know, Big Tom, obviously, like I said. Ethan won. Lex was, he's awesome. And I think Linda was memorable just because of her spicy personality, and you can't just not remember her. And she's like I said, these notable players are people that, when you think of the season, they're one of the few players that come to mind. Like, they come to your mind. And then Brandon, I just think he was so not because he was flamboyant, but like, he was so out there, and some of his comments he made, I just think you can't not think of him. That one might be on the fence a little bit, but for me, I feel like he's more memorable than not memorable. It was not on the fence, whatever. Then other players who were on the fence about, like, they were somewhat memorable, Kelly and Lindsay. I didn't put Lindsay on here, but Kelly and Lindsay, they're like about the same. Silas and Clarence, all of them are like, made a little bit of impact, but it's not like thinking back, oh yeah, I remember that was good. Maybe Clarence because he did that thing, but eat the food. But Silas, I mean, I don't know. For me, they're not as memorable. Now, Frank he was memorable in the beginning. When I saw him, I'm like, this guy's gonna be memorable. But like, he kind of faded out, and he did a couple weird things, but I don't know if he's as memorable. So I kind of put him in the middle, because I thought he was, like, if you watched the first few episodes, you're like, okay, this guy's gonna be an impact. He's gonna be, people are gonna remember him. And then he went to the last, like, kind of half of the game. He kind of like wasn't as talkative, not as talkative, but it wasn't like, I don't know, he just wasn't feel like it's impactful. So he's kind of in the middle. Anyway, so that's season 3 of Survivor Africa. I'm sorry I couldn't remember more things. Again, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I just watched it. I just finished it a few days ago. But I will be doing season 4 coming up, and thanks for watching. Again, the light situation, I'm still trying to figure it out. Don't know. And I know it's kind of hard to see with my arm movements, and I'm filming with my phone, but I have camera recorder that I'm going to use, a video recorder, whatever, I'm going to use, hopefully I'm going to use next time. Hopefully I remember to charge it, and yeah, so thanks again for watching season 3 of Africa, and hope to see you next video. Like and subscribe. Thank you.